this was strictly her idea.
Come on now.
And when it failed, she is very unreasonable.
Thank you, Lord.
Are we unreasonable when our ideas fail? Are we uncountable? Or some of us, most of us, fall into the category of Hagar. Hagar was unavailable. Hagar goes and flees. She faces the situation and she runs from it. Not recognizing that no matter where you are there. No matter how far you run, you take you with you. Even to the point that Psalmist says, if I make my bed in hell, even God is there. You can't outrun yourself or God. So many times we just try to ignore situations as if they'll just magically disappear. We ignore it, saying, if I don't deal with it, it won't bother me. So we have unforgiveness towards somebody because we decided not to forgive them and just ignore it. I know how to deal with them anyway. So if I don't forgive them, it'll just eventually leave my mind. Or if we have bitterness or anger, rejection, not realizing that all of this shows up at some point. And most times comes out at the most inopportune time. But because we've ignored it, because we've tried to run away from it, recognizing that you can't outrun yourself. Because wherever you are there. You can't take a vacation from yourself. You are everywhere that you are. But lastly, we have to look at the results. We saw why we do it. We saw how we react to it. But what happens when we do things our own way? First thing is difficult situations are formed. Difficult situations are formed. Interesting, although his name is Ishmael, which means God hears, the text is very clear to say he's going to be wild. Verse 12 says, and he will be a wild man, and his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand is against him. Literally, there are going to be fights going on because of this situation. And not just for a little while, but this is just what's going to happen. So many times, when we do our will instead of God's will, we cause chaos and destruction. Not recognizing that although God's will may be unpopular to us, it's what's best for us. So we have a difficult situation we've created. So difficult that even 2 chapters later, they had to kick Hagar out because of Ishmael. And so there's a lot of difficult situations I'm learning that we're dealing with. All because we decided to do things our way. But lest you think this is just total bad news, God always gives us another chance. It seems as though God would have said, Abram, you tried to do it your way. And listen, so my promise is null and void in your life. You try to do it your way, try to do your will. Listen, when I gave you the promise, I didn't give you a timeline for the promise. So you got impatient. And that's what, honestly, that's the fourth reason we do things our own way. It's because we're impatient. We ready for God to do what He gonna do right now. We don't want to wait. But God gives